Go ahead and talk about. I kind of want to go do a little history in marketing and business, and I'm gonna finish it up with some things that you can do to improve your business, to do more, to get more business, and to acquire more people in your business. Okay, and more customers. So we're gonna do some, but I want to have a little fun. And I like history. I enjoy history actually. I enjoy watching history, and sometimes I'm sure that people when you go through history, it's a little different the experience. But just thinking back and looking back, it's nice to look back at history and see how things transpire and how. And I kind of want to give you a little history lesson on marketing, business, and how we got here into network marketing, and why network marketing it really is one of the greatest business ideas and business concepts out there. Period. So let's go ahead. I did a little. I created a little slideshow for you. It's not that good. I mean, it's like my 8-year-old could have done this, but I did it really fast, and I was just at first I was just gonna tell the story, to be honest. But then I was like, you know what? It'd be nice to have a little slideshow too with it. So here's my little slideshow that I have here for you. So we're gonna go back to business. Really started with the agriculture age, and the agriculture age. Uh, in those times, it was one of those things that if you're not the people that own land were kings, counts, dukes, and royalty. This was like this age lasted for thousands of years, literally. This age when and you were the king, and what happened is that in those times everybody worked for the kings, for the royalty. Everybody worked for them, and you didn't just work for them. You were kind of, it was the era of slaves, and it was not just slaves in color, based on color. It was slaves in race. It was based on where you live. Like the Romans, for example, they enslaved everybody. They didn't care if you were not a Roman, you're a slave. You could have been a beautiful woman from Russia, or a beautiful woman from Africa. They didn't care. You were not Roman. They're gonna enslave you. So in those days, that's who worked the land. It was the slaves, and you work for these people. You work for these royalties, and that's how the classes started. So, and then what ended up happening is in all societies, uh, slaves became free. This happened in Egypt. This happened in the Roman times, and it definitely happened in the history of the United States, as we know. The slaves become free, and but something transition happened, especially here in the United States, right? Um, where in the slaves in those days, in the 1800s, now those people are here now. There's the slaves that we brought. They those time they brought here. I say we because we never owned slaves, no, whatever. So, but the people that those people that in those times that owned slaves, uh, now they don't longer call them slaves. What do they call them now? They call them employees. So they now they call them employees. So in every era, that's when and ended up happening. The slaves were free, and after the slaves were free, there was like, hey, all these people are here. What do we do with them? Oh, we're gonna employ them. Now they're employees. So it's one of those things that is very interesting to look at, right? Because that's and I'm not knocking down employment by any means. We always got to be grateful where we're at in life, and grateful that we even have an income and opportunity. But I'm just, again, I don't. This is not to offend anybody. I'm just trying to be very careful how to navigate this part of history. So, but now, so the employment era began, especially here in the United States, and in the United States, later after the agriculture age, in the industrial age came to play. And in the industrial age, now wealth was distributed differently. It was no longer landowners, right? You didn't have to own the land. Now it's all about who owns the factories. And this is interesting because there was the Industrial Revolution creating enormous wealth for Britain and the United States as well, who had the money, factory owners, shippers. Most workers live in extreme poverty. The classes began to happen within this, where there was an upper class, wealthy industrial factory owners, business owners, middle class, small business owners, lawyers, other professionals, the working class, factory workers, and other workers, right? Those are the working class. Workers suffer until they fought to reform. Okay, this is actually pretty interesting in history. The workers fought to reform. Why? Because in those days, there was no minimum wage. So a factory owner could pay you whatever they want. They could pay you. I could pay if Brooke, my employee, I could pay her 25 cents an hour, or I can take Keith and I can pay him 30 cents an hour, and it doesn't matter. Or I can pay him $1 an hour. I choose as as the business owner. There was nothing to tell me what to do. So what ended up happening is that there was a not just a reform. They fought to reform, but they literally fought. They burned the factories. This was a part in history where all throughout the country they were burning the factories, and they burned the factories because they were fought to reform. Say, hey, we can. This is a problem. So they started all throughout all throughout the country. Workers in the news said, "Hey, burning factories." Everybody went into strike, until eventually the government stepped in and they created the Minimum Wage Act. And the Minimum Wage Act is basically what it is. It's minimum wage. It was designed for you to live at the very, very minimum. What is it you can live at the very, very minimum? So it provided wages for workers working for organizations, stop exploration of workers, and then it was based on for you to live in the very, very minimum. This is where minimum age uh, came to play. So then when we move fast forward a little more, and we move more into the 20s, now in the 1920s, the small business owners begin to thrive. And this is where now you have your mom pop shop. Everybody had their own business their own business. If you were a doctor, you had your own business. If you're a florist, you have your own business. If you were a if you're a gas station right owner, all everything was just independent small businesses, and everybody was thriving. But then of course we know what happened. History has tells us the Great Depression hit in 1929, and this is where uh, small businesses, literally the banks were collapsing. Small businesses lost their businesses, and now everybody is looking to go back to employment, even as all these small businesses that no longer can thrive. And so people lost their businesses, and it was a hard time for everybody. There was many the high this the suicide rate in that time. If you go look it up, it was enormous. So many people suffer in this area, and your maybe your grandparents or your great grandparents experienced this, and they experienced this, and because of it, there's a certain mindset that came from experiencing the Great Depression. You know what I mean? Like to see, like, we can talk about depression today, but it's different because when you have internet, uh, it's different when you have the Great Depression and when you have internet. When you don't have internet, when you have internet, the opportunities are much bigger because there's something else that came into play that I'm going to talk about in just a second. But in those time, the Great Depression it was a serious thing, and it was very, very painful for those people. This is where the acronym job came around. You know, job, just over broke, because it was a joke actually. It started with, or let's say Michelle was a florist, and and Michelle, and then I see Michelle in the street, and then she was like, and I say, "Hey Michelle, where are you going?" You know, and she's like, Michelle's like, I'm going to my job, just over broke. So this is where the acronym came from in those times. So the Great Depression can continue. It happened, and big corporations now begin to thrive. Like the only people that survived were the big corporations, General Electric, Ford, and all the giant corporations, the mill stills, Andrew Carnegie, right? Those guys. Those are the big companies that were the only ones to survive because what they did, they held on to the taxpayers' money because they held on to people's money because they didn't want to give it back. That's what they did because they were pretty much the banks for the United States. So they hold on to people's money. So they cruise through the Great Depression. But in those time, this is where it came. The age of the professional started. Why is this? Because these corporations they were looked the only way that I could pay you more if you brought more value to my company. So now we're looking for doctors, lawyers, accountants, engineer, professional, business administration, police. Just the age of the professional began at this time. So this is where did you ever hear this advice? Right? Did you ever seen this? hey, go to school, get a great education to find a big corporation to work for the next 40 years and retire with a pension. That was great advice as your parent, because our grandparents and great grandparents lived in the Great Depression. So they figured out, say, hey, wait a minute, if I have a small business, it could be taken away like when the Great Depression happened. But if I'm a professional, I'm needed, I'm valuable for these corporations. So this is where the advice came from. Of course, we fast forward and we came into, after the industrial age, the information age came in. And the information age, things changed, right? This is the age of the computer now. And the information age, it was no longer about the service and building factories, and it was no longer about being a professional. Now it's about the speed of information and how you can travel information from point A to point B. And this is where a lot of opportunity happened. In fact, this is where globalization began. In globalization, we take advantage of globalization as vital health, right? What does that mean? That means that I can, if I'm I can we for example, globalization here is, if I'm going to hire a lawyer, I can hire a lawyer in China and pay half the cost of a lawyer here, or I can hire an engineer from China and pay the half the cost that I have here. That's globalization. So now it's a global market, global competition. Our factories, we acquire our resources from Europe and Asia, we put it together in Mexico, and we sell it to the United States, Canada, and the world. You follow me? Globalization. So globalization started at that time because of the information. It was a big shift for business owners, actually. And then we fast forward, and we know where we came from. We came to the connection age. This is where we're all connected, right? Just social media connecting, and now the income opportunities have shifted as well. And there's this guy named Seth Golden that I really like. He's an author, and he said the new era of modern marketing is about the connection economy. And this is where today, obviously, social media is a big deal. People are constantly doing posts, doing attraction marketing, and just doing all types of advertisement through social media, right? Some of you have probably even found out about vital health through social media. So, and then, but in the connection age, companies started springing up like this, right? Uber, $48 billion company, they not own a car. They connect people to ride with someone who owns a car, right? $48 billion company, but they don't own any cars. They don't own any taxis. All they do is they're connecting people, right? Then you have Airbnb, right? Doing the same thing. They connect someone who's looking for a place to stay in, and someone who's offering a house, right? They're just connecting. Connection age, $3.8 billion. Netflix, right? Movie company. They don't even own a theater. $100 billion company. All they're doing is they're connecting people to entertainment and movies. And of course, Amazon, now it's almost $1 trillion company. All they do is they connect people, but they don't make anything. They don't make any products, right? They're just connecting people to other products. So the connection age brought a lot of opportunity for all of us, and we saw this happen. But there's a trend within the connection age that's happening, and here's the trend. Look, these companies, for example, eBay, Airbnb, Uber, Amazon, these big giant companies, they have low overhead. Did you notice that? Did you notice that Airbnb doesn't own a hotel? Is that a low overhead? Yes. Do you own that Uber doesn't own a car? Low overhead. Amazon doesn't own an Amazon store, right? Especially in the beginning. eBay, right? They don't, so they have low overheads. They also have what is called high income potential, right? Because they can scale those products, right? So, which is geometric growth, is you can scale the product, and they have high income potential because of the low overhead. They have easy international expansion, because if I'm Airbnb, I don't have to build a hotel in China. That's a easy. I just turn on the app in China, and people start signing up. You follow me? So easy international expansion. Uh, they have a business in the app. That's fun. They have low costs for expansion as well. So, Let me make sure that everybody's muted. I should have done this before. I apologize. Uh, da, da, da. Oh, there you go. Cancel. And okay. Okay. So again, so you have business and app, low cost for expansion, and income opportunities for individuals. Did you notice how these companies provide income opportunities for everybody? Airbnb, you can have your own, you have an income opportunity. eBay, you can sell. Uber, Amazon. Now let me ask you a question. What other industry does this? What other company does this? Vital Health. Do we have low overhead? Yes, we do, don't we? You don't. There's no one goes bankrupt here. Vital Health for starting your business here with a Vital Health company. Does it have high earning potential? You best believe it. It does. High earning potential for all of us. Can you grow geometrically? Can you bring it two people? They become four. They become eight. Absolutely. You can grow geometrically. Easy international expansion. Absolutely. Now we're launching in Colombia, and many of the countries you can see in the back office when you sign people up. And those countries, all you have to do is call someone and know someone and know someone and had in that country, and your business just got expanded international. Business in an app, yes, we do. We have Bourse apps, and we utilize the Bourse apps very effectively. Low cost for expansion doesn't cost you anything to expand your business. And if you know somebody in Texas, in Las Vegas, or in New York, or in Colombia, or in Canada, or in Mexico, does not cost you anything for that person to get started. So there's no cost. Income opportunity for individuals, that's what we do, right? We have an income opportunity for individuals. So this is exciting when you look at this. Is you connect the trends together. We are exactly perfectly positioned. The network marketing industry and where we're at with Vital Health, we're perfectly positioned to take advantage of the trend that is happening right now. And to me, it's very, very exciting. Now, there's this guy right here named Paul St. Pilser. He wrote a book called The Wellness Revolution. It talks about the next $1 trillion is in the wellness industry. Imagine that. The next $1 trillion is in the wellness industry. He says that, and that today it's not about manufacturing, it's about finding a better way to deliver distribution. In other words, be able to find a better way to distribute the mousetrap. That's what it's about today. And then he connected how the wellness revolution takes part in this. And I think I feel very confident because that's where we're at. And I see a wellness revolution happening. Don't you see it too? Today more than ever, I'm more educated than ever before. I mean, especially after COVID. After that experience happened, today people's consciousness have been awakened to the possibilities that, hey, listen, I want to become more health conscious and I need to take care of myself. And preventive herb medicine is worth more than a ton of cure. So there's this guy named Fred Smith. Fred Smith, this to give you an idea of better distribution ideas, right? How companies are going out there and creating better distributions and $1 billion opportunities are being created. But there's the guy named Fred Smith. I don't know if you ever heard of him. He went to Oxford University and he wrote a paper called Hobson's Theory of Distribution. When he wrote it, his teacher failed him, gave him an F. I said, this is ridiculous. You are putting together an idea that competes with some of the biggest companies, one of the biggest companies out there in the world. But Fred Smith thought that, hey, this is possible. And here's the company. Did anybody know the company of Fred Smith? Anybody heard of it? Maybe you have heard of it. FedEx. He was failed at first when he came up. In fact, the first month, excuse me, FedEx delivered 25 packages. Out of those 25 packages, only 2 made them. It cost them, by the way, $30 million to start FedEx. Imagine you're an investor. You invested $30 million, so you're Fred Smith, and your job is to is to go out there and do this and deliver packages, and out of 30 packages, only two make it, right? That's not a good percentage. So it must have been hard. Then this have you or EDS? Have you heard of EDS before? What is it? What do they do? EDS, they have a distribution of information, safely information from point A to point B. Ever heard of this guy, Ross Perot? That's all he does. He doesn't make anything. All he does is he delivers from point A to point B, safely information. Again, distribution. And how about Sam Walton? We all know who Sam Walton is, right? What is it? They never manufacture anything. He never manufactured, but he just found a better way to deliver the mousetrap to the people, and it was revolutionary when Sam Walton came up with Walmart at those times. It was like game changing when the big stores came out, and so for all of us, it was like that. So any breakthroughs ideas are first met with resistance. Have you noticed that every all the breakthrough ideas, and I'll give you just a couple examples, because sometimes we come into network marketing and you're brand new to network marketing. You're like, man, this doesn't seem right. I mean, it has the pyramid structure. And by the way, every employment has a pyramid structure. The government's a pyramid, right? What do you see with the back of a dollar bill? A pyramid with a big pyramid eye staring back at you. So everything has a pyramid structure. But so when you're brand new network marketing, it's easy for you to like, oh, you know what? I just don't understand it. But I want to tell you that any breakthrough ideas are met with resistance always. That's how it works. Let me give you an example. For example, department store. Department stores are kind of normal, right? If you go to the mall, you go to Nordstrom's, that's kind of normal. But today's self-evident. But did you know in the 1930s was arguing Congress whether it should be legal a department store? The anti-chain store legislation came out. I know it's ridiculous now to think about it, right? But these politicians, they took time out of their day to argue whether a department store should be legal or not. I mean, think about this. So in the 1939, so this is like this every breakthrough idea is first met with resistance. That's just how it works. How about how about franchising? We today there's self-evidence. Arguing Congress in 1970. It was a strange concept. People put up their money for the business and pay back a percentage because it was someone else's idea. That was a strange concept. Corporation was in charge of training and supporting the franchisee. That was a strange concept back then. It's no different than what we do right now. People put up the money to start their vital health business, and they get a percentage of the sales that they make. They bring in the corporation. Our team is in charge of training and supporting the franchisee. It's no different, my friend. That's how it works. But it was first met with resistance. That's what I'm trying to get to. That it was arguing Congress in 1970. In fact, we owe a big woohoo to some of the big companies out there. They actually fought this and they won this. So it was nice for them to do that. So in network marketing, here's what network marketing is. Okay, it's a better form of distribution. That's what it is. It's bringing products into people because it helps you experience the product, right? What do? We bring you a product. We let you taste it, try, have an experience, and we bring you the scanner. We have it's a whole experience of our product line. That's a distribution model. It's low cost per customer, right? It doesn't cost you a marketing cost to bring, maybe sweat equity you do, but marketing costs for you to bring a customer over, there's no marketing cost, only sweat equity. Does it have high profit margins? Absolutely. Absolutely. The margins here, I mean, we know the compensation plan. And when it's to get a customer, you can earn as high as 80% and average 56.4%. I mean, great. Uh, Loyal customers creating better retention. That's what we bring. We bring better. I mean, there's if someone's gonna see a product on TV, or if my product from you, they're gonna buy from you and they're gonna remain loyal to you because of the relationship. So it creates what is called a loyal customer, a sticky customer. for creating for retention. Uh, we have a demonstrable product, right? We can demonstrate the product. That's why it's so powerful. The network marketing industry, our distribution model. Someone starts a home-based business that is based in network marketing principles every 10 seconds in the world. Every 10 seconds this happens. Network marketing businesses that are based out of home have an average of 80% greater chance of success than other traditional small businesses. Why is that? Because we don't have none of the trappings a traditional business has. We don't have the overhead. We don't have the employee. There's no risk like this. There's no, I mean, there's this financial stress of starting a small business. If you're all in, if I put $100,000 in the business, you got to be in that business, and it becomes stressful. And many times in a relationship, it becomes stressful in your family. It can, so there's a lot of factors that come in additionally when you have that type of business. And I'm not knocking small businesses or traditional business. We are very grateful for it. But I am telling you that network marketing is a superior form of competitive business out there. The model is very competitive, and it stands up there with traditional business, with franchises, with even big business owners, or even in high investment opportunities. It's right up there with it. And I want you to be proud of what you have in the business that you're in, because I believe that this right here, this opportunity right here brings something very, very special for every single one of us. So let me go ahead and tell you how can you bring more business? How can you take advantage of this opportunity more and more? So I'm going to give you some tips and advice that I believe will can make a big difference for you. And so to ultimately, what we're trying to do is to bring more business. That's what we're trying to do, right? Bring more business. We want more business. The more business we have, the better it is. And I lost my notes because my computer does this kind of funny things. I know. Is it here? Oh, there it is. That's why. No, I lost it again. Okay, great. So just a few things for you to help you focus on creating more business. Okay. Here's tip number one. Tip number one that I want to give you to create more business. It says focus on finding business builders. I think that's pretty simple, right? Focus on finding more business builders. Residual income comes from finding leaders within your organization that are creating their own distribution business within your organization. So have an eye to do that. Be in the lookout to find opportunities, to find business builders and leaders. And one thing is that sometimes, and sometimes you can do vice versa, right? You can approach someone with the product and then they become a business owner, or you can somebody with a business and you fall back in the product, right? So you can work both ways. Here's the next one. You got to use the correct language when you're going out there and reaching out to people, and look for, and sometimes you got to look for whatever if I'm talking to a business owner, for example, if I'm one business owners and entrepreneurs or professionals in my industry, I'm finding out what language do I use to approach that individual, right? So if I'm talking to a business owner, I'm talking about low overhead. I'm talking about low risk. I'm talking about being able to do international expansion. These are words and language that target someone that thinks this way, right? If I'm talking about to someone that gets paid on production, on having how would you like to have unlimited income potential or something like where you can get paid for you can still get paid in production while you're on vacation. How would you like to do that? See, this type of language right here, people that get paid on production, they know one thing, that if I'm not producing, I'm not making any money, right? So if I'm speaking about production while you're going on vacation, this type of language attract those type of people. So learn languages, whatever your market is. And some of you are focused on attracting doctors, some of you are attracting everybody, right? Some of you are attracting just regular individuals that have a job, right? I remember that when I was just launching my business in the first and one in an opportunity that I was working in the past, I had a neighbor, and she was a mom, and she was a mom that she worked two jobs, right? So my language had to be based on that. So I asked her, hey, her name was Lori. I say, hey, Lori, if I can show you a way to spend more time with your children and make the same amount of money you're making right now, or even greater, is that worth 30 minutes of your time? Simple question, right? But I spoke within a language that speaks to her. So use correct language when you're reaching out to people, and see and become, and this is all part about being a professional, by the way, the way I'm telling you. I can teach you generic principles of how to invite and generic scripts, but at this level, when I'm talking to you, this is where people like Tara Truax, James Lenhart, Mike, Keith Williams, Eric, this is the level that these guys are already operating at. They're looking at this as at a professional level, where you are, it's more than something generic. That's what I'm trying to say. Next, next step will be, look at your existing organization and help develop builders. Dig within your people to find the next leader within the organization. So if you're getting started, obviously your job is just to go silver. Let's say you just got started yesterday. David, my first Zoom call. Congratulations. I'm glad you saw the history of business and marketing and network marketing, how we tied it up together. Your job is to just to go silver. But those of you that I already have building a team and have and if I, and if you're not silver, you've been here for a month or 2 months or 3 months or whatever, your job is to go silver. That's your job. And and but once you have an organization, now it's time to start digging within your organization as well. You and if you go silver again and again. But in that process, you start what is called tap rooting, where you're going to start building with the organization, look within your organization and see who's building, and let's go work together. And which is my next tip. Look for pockets of momentum. Who's building within your organization? Who's active? Who's making it happen? That question is a question that I'm constantly asking myself. I say, who's making it happen in the organization? Because I want to go there. I want to put, wherever the fire's at, you want to put gasoline, especially in our industry. Here's the next tip. Get your numbers up. What does that mean? Income bringing activities, exposures, prospecting, averages. But you increase your averages by increasing your abilities. So, but exposures and prospecting is key. So well, that's what we do, right? We expose the business and we prospect. We do those three things. So you are constantly exposing the business by sharing the product. So you increase your IBAs, and I will even add, track your IBAs. How many people you should reach out to yesterday in the last 48 hours? How many people have seen your business? How many people have tried your product? That's a good question to ask yourself. If the answer is zero, not to worry. It's not a good number, but you can increase that now. Go to one over the next 48 hours. Show this to one person. I said this many, many times, and you're gonna hear me repeat it for the entirety that you work with me. Momentum starts with one. The business starts with one. The opportunity for you to go diamond starts with one. So in the next 24 hours, go ahead and reach out to one person. Go ahead and create one exposure and share the product with one person. Next, uh, understand that customers turn into builders. Customers are the lifeline of the business, right? We know this. Good customers with good experiences are easier to turn into builders. They're raving fans of the product already. So they have a story to share with other people because they're a product of the product. So customers can turn into builders, and that's actually a great thing to happen, because one customer that has a great experience and talking to, say, hey, listen, how are you enjoying the product? Oh my God, David, I enjoy the product so much. My blood sugar levels have normalized. My mother feels incredible, and I love it. And it's easy for me to say, hey, listen, I'm looking right now to share this mission with other people. I'm looking to help other people, and only I cannot do this alone, but I'm looking to build the business with it. Will you be open for the idea of looking at the business model with me as well? And that's an easy conversation. They're already a raving fan about the product. They already have a belief is high because they believe in the product. And so that's an easy conversation. So customers can turn into builders. Uh, last tip I want to give you is, customers that refer other customers can also that can also be that's a window of opportunity to talk to them about builders, right? Because if a customer is if I see a customer that keeps referring me other customers, isn't that a window for me to say, hey, listen, have you looked at the business model that we have? I mean, the business model that we have, you referred me already 5 customers. By the way, I'm very grateful for those 5 customers. However, listen, and how would you like to be the person that's earning this? I would love for you to share this with you so you can see what's possible within our business model. So these things are just a few tips for you to think about, few things for you to do. I am super guys, super excited. I'm just looking at the right now. Some of the chat saying, yeah. Let me see. Start having low risk. Great stuff. Uh, let's see. Good stuff. Great guys. So yeah, so let's go out there and make it happen. I'm super excited to be here. I'm super excited to help every single one of you. I want to tell you that your leaders are here for you, and utilize your success line. Utilize them. Put us to work. I tell people all the time that I am a high, all I am is a high pay serving employees. I say serving because I'm a server. I serve other people. That's what I do. You put me on the phone with a prospect or someone you want me to talk to, I will talk to him. Brooke does the same thing. I mean, all these incredible leaders in this organization that are emerging are looking for the next person that's going to emerge. And I want to tell you, there's also a place where you gotta give yourself grace to understand that everybody is walking their own journey. And I want to be very, I want you to we're gonna go ahead and spotlight me for this part. Everybody's walking their own journey. So I um I remember a time in my life where I asked myself, is this ever gonna happen for me? I mean, what's happening here? Why am my I'm 10 years in the industry. I'm still haven't have my breakthrough. In fact, I didn't have my breakthrough my 13th year. Some of you had it in your first 2 or 3 years. Some of you have still not have had it. But I want to tell you that what creates the difference is having the consistency of being this. I mean, I think I was talking to James the other day, and he was like, some person said was commenting on the fact that he's been in multiple companies before. He says, "Yeah, I've been in multiple companies before, but I've been in the same industry for 27 years." Is it's the same thing. What I'm this kind of is the point of what I'm telling you is that you got to become a professional in the industry and have that mindset. That's your goal, is to become a professional. That's it. The results will come if you focus on that part. Focus on the professional, and the results will come in the process. And in that process, that you're becoming a professional in the industry, you got to give yourself grace and not compare yourself with other people's journey. Man, if I compare myself with other people's journey, it's just not a good idea. Things don't work out well. You start getting yourself depressed, and you start expectations start coming in, and then expectations are not met, and that creates suffering within you. I mean, all these things that happen within you. So here's the thing: you decide to become a professional. What the understanding and the consciousness that you're walking your own path, and your path is like your fingerprint. It's very unique to you. But you got to understand that whatever circumstances, whoever you are as an individual, there's someone very similar to you with similar circumstances that have also made it in this industry, and they have made it at the highest level. I mean, I think every leader here that has at this point that I talked to, whether it's Carla, Kimberly, they know so many people. They seen every level of individual has made it at the highest level. So my message to you is this. My message to you is that you can do it. You can make it happen. You can win here at Vital Health. You can be the next diamond. You can be the next person that just walking the stage. you can be the person that's earning this residual passive income while you're enjoying time with your family. You can do it. I believe in you. I know that I definitely Tanya believes in you. Look at that. Look at that lady active in the comments. Carla believes in you. Deborah Liggs believes she's ready. But I want you to know, we all believe in you, but you also got to believe in yourself that this is for you, and make that decision and that commitment that I will be a professional in this industry. Have a great day, guys. Let's go out there and make it happen. And let's go reach out to that one person, just one person. Okay. I love every single one of you. I know what that this is going to be an amazing. We're going to have an amazing next 3 months, and it's just going to be an amazing quarter. So I'm